think Shubhankar, you can go ahead.
Okay, so am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir.
Okay, so first of all, thanks for organizing this session. It's really helpful. Now coming to my question part. So my question is like, first of all, consistency you already told. Then second thing which I'm facing is like in my first revision, I didn't made any short notes, like any summary notes. But in my second revision, which I am doing right now, I'm making short notes also. And given by the fact I'm following one's advice, so I'm studying each and everything which is there in study material, and I'm making short notes from there. So I think it's taking a lot of time. I mean, like I'm gaining confidence in the subjects which I'm doing, but it's taking a lot of time. So my direct question would be, if let's suppose if you have to, if you were in your study leaves, so what exactly did you studied in that? Were your short notes prepared before that? First and second, if not, then did you prepare your short notes in your study this is study time, and will you advise me to prepare short notes in this time, or should I like just study SM as it is?
So okay, I'll take that up. So Shubham, the answer to your question, Shubhankar, the answer to your question is mostly on one concept we learn in costing, that's cost of quality. So you'll always have to balance in between the cost you incur and the benefits of quality that you get. Okay, until and unless you don't have that balance, you will never be able to end up to a optimum result, say basically. So क्या होगा, currently what I have done is I started making notes. So notes का ऐसा मतलब नहीं है कि formally बैठ के एक अपनी notebook में ना notes लिखते जाओ and you do things. So that is where you can do it. वो जो आपके weak areas है, but जो आपके stronger areas है या फिर जो आपको लगता है आप easily catch up कर सकते हो. मैं अपने notebooks में से highlighters use करके, so I had multiple highlighters में highlighters use करके खाली words highlight कर देता था. So that next time आप खाली word पढ़ो आगे जाओ. So that ways आप करो. It's not कि आप formal note बनाओ. Formal note बनाने की दरकार नहीं. You don't want to read those books again. Okay, so that is very clear. सो वो क्लैरिटी रखो माइंड में, एंड उसमें ही स्क्रैच कर करके जिस सब्जेक्ट में आपको लगता है वीक हो, से मेरे को लग रहा था ऑडिट में मेरे को इशू है, मैंने अपने फॉर्मल नोट्स बनाए, बट जहां पे मेरे को इशू नहीं है मैंने उसी बुक में वहीं पे कट शॉर्ट करके. सो दीज नोट मेकिंग विल नॉट टेक टाइम. वो आपके रीडिंग टाइम में से आपका रीडिंग टाइम इज 1 hour फॉर अ थिंग, सो इट विल इंक्रीज टू 1 hour 5 minutes, 1 hour 7 minutes, 1 hour 10 minutes टू मैक्स. सो इतना ही डिफरेंस आएगा. दैट विल नॉट ब्रिंग अ बिग डिफरेंस. सो दैट इज व्हाट यू कैन डू.
Okay, just sharing my brief strategy. What I'm doing right now is I've downloaded all the PDFs which are there on institute's website and converted them to Word format, and basically I'm deleting all the unnecessary part which is there. When I say unnecessary part, which I feel it is not necessary, so I'm deleting that and customizing that whole SM language only. I'm not making any short notes under my handwriting. I'm not writing anything because it will take another decade for me to write everything from the book. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting short everything which is there in SM. So is this a strategy, like will this strategy be helpful in this study time, or I'm wasting time? This is the question, clear cut question. Whether should I follow this strategy or not, and should I go by that marking, highlighting in the book itself?
See, maybe I'll give an answer limited to myself. आपने शुभम को या फिर से दिवेश को बहुत बार क्वेश्चंस किए होंगे, and you might have a thought of answers to that. मेरा thought हमेशा, if you check with Divesh, I have a different thought outlook, इसलिए I'll give you an answer from that outlook now. क्या होता है ना, आपने जो स्ट्रैटेजी बोली है ना, ये कॉल में जो 50 लोग हैं उनकी फट चुकी है स्ट्रैटेजी सुन के. एक आदमी क्या भयंकर स्ट्रैटेजी कर रहा है, एसएम को पूरा उठा के ही इज कटिंग डाउन थिंग्स एंड ब्रिंगिंग इट टू सच थिंग्स. ठीक है, बट रियलिटी इज कि आपको एक बैलेंस करना पड़ेगा. वो कट आउट कर रहे हो ना, जब भी मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ, बुक्स में आप कट करो या हाईलाइट करो, आपके पास पूरा कंटेंट है. सो योर माइंड विल नॉट बी एबल टू रिटेन ईच एंड एवरी कीवर्ड और ईच एंड एवरी फ्रेज दैट यू हैव रिटन. ऐसा नहीं आपने लिख दिया तो भगवान का है, यू विल रिमेंबर एवरीथिंग, बिकॉज़ इफ दैट वुड हैव बीन द पॉसिबिलिटी, वी वुड हैव 100% स्कोर्स एवरीवेयर. So that is not the thing. You will not be able to recall everything every time. तो उस टाइम पे आपको bigger paragraphs भी लगेंगे. Now if you keep on shortening things, you will not be able to conclude. And if you say कि नहीं मैं retain कर रहा हूँ जो भी बहुत necessary है, in that case you are writing your own book, and each book will take a good amount of time, and that is not the right time to get into things. मतलब आप exams दे लो, उसके बाद maybe for teaching purpose you can do that, but today for writing exams this is not the right method, I think.
I think if I am to add to what Ashish says, I think agreed with what Ashish said originally, and I think it's all about cost benefit analysis. मैं तो बोलता हूँ subject भी ना आप chapter wise देखो. Let's say you need notes in let's say 570 essay 570 versus you won't need notes in let's say essay 240. ठीक है, तो selectively make notes जहाँ पे जरूरत हो वहीं पे ही बनाओ. And second, note making does not necessarily mean कि आप दूसरी notebook लेके लिखना चालू करो या एक separate PDF बनाओ. वो meaning नहीं है. I have throughout my life not made like notes explicitly for any subject. मैं module में ही या जिस भी source से पढ़ रहा हूँ वहीं पे ही I used to underline or do marking in such a manner कि वही मेरा उसका underline part used to become are my notes. मैं अलग से क्यों लिखने जाऊं अगर वहीं पे मैं अंडरलाइन करके कर सकता हूं. So those were my notes. Notes doesn't mean कि आप necessarily खुद की handwriting में लिखो. Having said that, you're answering your second question, what is the right time of making notes? I have made notes in one day before exam, if you like want to believe me. But वो notes का point ही अलग था. Those notes were कि भाई जो रिवीजन है लास्ट 1 घंटे के लिए, आई वांटेड टू नोट डाउन सब पॉइंट्स के यार ये वाले पॉइंट्स मेरे को लास्ट 1 घंटे में याद रहने चाहिए. दोस वर वेरी क्रिस्प नोट्स के यार एक वर्ड लिख दिया, एक मेमोनिक लिख दिया, तो वो तो सिर्फ 4-5-6 पेजेस की नोट्स थी जो मैंने एक दिन पहले बनाई थी. तो ऐसा कोई पर्टिकुलर टाइम नहीं होता व्हेनेवर यू फील कि यार ये मेरे को चीज याद नहीं रह रही है. एंड आई थिंक इट विल बी बेटर अगर मैं नोट्स बना के मेरे को इजीली लाइक ग्रास्प होगा. वो फिर कॉस्ट बेनिफिट एनालिसिस व्हेन यू डू देन यू शुड डेफिनेटली गो फॉर नोट्स. बट ट्रस्ट मी ऑन दिस, नोट मेकिंग बनाना जरूरी, लाइक नोट्स बनाना जरूरी नहीं है. जिसको सूट होता है उसको होता है, जिसको नहीं होता नहीं होता है. एंड आंसरिंग योर सेकंड क्वेश्चन वेदर इस टाइम पे ये पीडीएफ ये वो वाला करना चाहिए, डेफिनेटली अग्री विद व्हाट आशीष सेड. लोगों की फट जाएगी फालतू का ये सोच के कि भाई कोई इतनी मेहनत करा है. एंड शुभंकर, आई एम टेलिंग यू, कहीं पे इफ यू फील देयर इज अ नीड यू शुड डू दिस. आई विल नेवर से कि ये नहीं करना चाहिए. द ओनली थिंग इज आई डोंट थिंक इट विल बी वर्थ द टाइम टू डू दिस फॉर ईच चैप्टर एंड ईच सब्जेक्ट. इट विल टेक अ हेल लॉट ऑफ टाइम. सेकंड पॉइंट, अगेन मे बी इफ यू वांट टू आंसर दिस क्वेश्चन फॉर योरसेल्फ कि ये चीज में मेरा टाइम कॉस्ट बेनिफिट नहीं हो पा रहा है, इफ यू वांट टू हेल्प इन दैट, let's say you have decided 12 days for audit, जो मैंने मैथ्स बताया उसके हिसाब से let's say you've decided 12 days for audit. अगर नोट मेकिंग के साथ तेरा फर्स्ट रीडिंग 12 days में हो जा रहा है then definitely do it. If you feel it's effective and 12 days में कोर्स भी खत्म हो रहा है, might as well do it. But अगर नोट मेकिंग के कारण 12 का 15 हो रहा है then it's not worth it. That's the simple cost benefit analysis you are supposed to. I think and I think a couple of things I want to mention, not exactly on this question but related. मेरे को याद है दो अलग-अलग फैकल्टीज ने दो अलग-अलग चीज at one point of time बोली थी and which is very relevant. एक फैकल्टी ने ये चीज बोली थी कि like my inter faculties said कि एक रैंकर और एक फेलियर दोनों पढ़ते तो 60% कोर्स ही है. The only difference is कौन सा 60% कोर्स पढ़ते हैं उसमें बहुत बड़ा. And when I say 60%, it does not mean 60% chapters. It means 60% of the content. I think ये बात तो किसी से छुपी नहीं है. What makes ये course difficult is not its toughness, but its length, its quantum, which makes it difficult to cover within the last 1.5 days of exam. You will have to be very smart, and especially in terms of audit, I'm telling you, because ये मेरे साथ हो चुका है. First reading, I went on to do each and everything, each and every line I went on to read, जो कि last 1.5 days तक शायद 50, 60, 70% पे आके रुक गया. तो मेरे को ये हो रहा था यार पहली रीडिंग में भी 30% करने का टाइम वेस्ट नहीं किया. So that is one call that you all will have to take. It is not necessary to do everything. Again, I think maybe Shubham, for example, will say कि नहीं यार सब करना जरूरी है to get an all India rank 1. But I think everyone will have different views. My view is कि यार rank AIR1 and these are Shubham's words, AIR1 100 marks लाने से नहीं आती. AIR1 80% पे आ जाती है. So you have to score just 80% of each paper to get AIR1. तो फिर सब पढ़ना भी क्यों? See, if you can study everything in the last 1.5 days, well and good. But if not, then why do you want to strive for it? फालतू का. And the second thing that one of the faculty said, जो वो sleep वाला point था उस पे कि कितना सोना चाहिए. Again, there is no standard over here. एक faculty ने बोला था अगर आपको 4 घंटे की नींद से भी if you are fine with only 4 hours of sleep ना, तो 4 घंटे से 1 मिनट ज्यादा मत सोना. बट अगर आपको 8 घंटे की नींद चाहिए तो 8 घंटे की नींद से 1 मिनट कम मत सोना. So this is one thing, like you should know yourself better. I think you can answer yourself like your no one knows better than you, I would say. And I think before going to the next question, Bhramar is here, so I'll let Bhramar go ahead and share his views first, and then we can continue the questions.
Hello, hi everyone. Apologies for joining so late. I was caught up in something personal. But sorry, Divesh, I wouldn't be able to pick up this question because I jumped in between, so I don't exactly know what's going on. Maybe
you
I'll
can
pick
take the
that
next question.
Yeah, if it's given to me.
Shubhankar, I hope Divesh answered your question.
Yep, it's answered. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Krypton, yes, you can go ahead.
I think apologies, Bhramar. I didn't introduce you first, but I didn't feel the need of it because I'm damn sure everyone here knows you very well. But just to still formally introduce you, Bhramar is All India Rank 1 CA final January 21, currently working at BCG, and also he's All India Rank 8 IPCC. Here to share his valuable insights. I think, Bhramar, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I think, do you want me to run a monologue? Because I'm very sure that the esteemed panelists which we have here might have covered everything that I would want to cover. So I don't want to bore the audience with repetition. So I think it would be better if I pick any questions which I found I am more suitable to answer, right? Just a quick check. So we have all the audience here from number 22 batch, right? Number 22 exams?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's great to know.
Krypton, you can take after question now.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks a lot for arranging such a great session. So I'll directly come to my point. I have a doubt regarding a particular subject. So I have chosen RM as an elective subject. So basically, to be honest, I have selected that subject on the basis of its bulkiness, right? So I have not done any type of research, to be honest. But I also watched some guidance videos on YouTube, and I got to know that December 21 or something like that paper was very much tough of RM. and even these were the words of the one of the rankers. And she also took the classes from one of the renowned faculty. But I have not taken neither classes, nor I have taken any type of first reading or so. So what I have planned is to complete the RM subject in 7 days and at least do 2 to 3 times the reading of that study module only. So if you are in my position, I also talked with one of the faculties regarding the same issue, and he told me to take the classes and complete it within 30 days, fast track batch like that. But what I thought was now it would hamper my revision time. So better it would not take means classes. So if you guys were in my position, then what would you do?
I think Divesh will be the right person to answer this since he took RM. Right, Divesh?
Yeah, I think me and Ashish as well, but I think I will go
Ashish
first.
is it, yeah.
We like what if we were in your position is not the question. We were actually in your position. Matlab, me and Ashish, as a matter of fact, have taken RM. And I am not sure if Ashish took classes, but I, as a matter of fact, did not take classes. So first things first, be mindful. Classes lena is not the end of the world. और ये तो सोचना ही मत कि classes नहीं लिए इसके अब आपके marks कम हो जाएंगे, etc., etc. And this is not just for RM. This is for all electives, not just for electives. This is for all subjects across CA Inter and CA Final. ठीक है, self study can be done, and especially so far as it is elective. तो ये तो सोचना ही मत कि lectures नहीं लिए, now you'll end up scoring less, etc. Second is, so far as the strategy is concerned, I think RM pretty easy to manage. यार मार्क्स कितना आएंगे आई कैन नॉट सजेस्ट बिकॉज पेपर की टफनेस तो पेपर की टफनेस एंड आई टेल यू अगर पेपर टफ आ रहा है ना इवन द बेस्ट ऑफ द फैकल्टी से अगर कोई पढ़ा होगा ना वो नहीं कर पाएगा बिकॉज यार दुनिया भर का कुछ भी उठा के पूछ सकते हैं फैकल्टी भी कितना ही पढ़ेगी आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि फैकल्टी ने कवर नहीं किया ये अगर बाहर से पूछा कुछ जो मॉड्यूल में नहीं दिया हुआ है तो क्या ही किसी को आने वाला ठीक है तो टफनेस ऑफ पेपर इज समथिंग नो कैन डू एनीथिंग अबाउट बट आई थिंक सो फार एज प्रिपरेशन लेवल इज कंसर्न्ड मॉड्यूल इफ यू रीड twice or thrice throughout your study period, then it is more than enough. I would say maybe first reading would take you 4 days to cover module plus let's say past papers and the case study digest that you have. Second reading I think will take you 2 days, and then third reading सीधा exam के एक दिन पहले आप करो. I think that is more than enough in my opinion. I think over to you Ashish if you want to add anything.
No, perfect, Divesh. So that's a universal answer to the question on whether you should take coaching or not. So you covered it all.
यार मैंने आरएम की कोचिंग ली थी मैंने तो टीचर्स के आंसर ही गलत थे तो छोड़ो कोचिंग लेने का कोई फायदा नहीं है मैंने आरएम की कोचिंग लेके आरएम नहीं लिया बस कोई नहीं होता आराम से हो जाएगा
By the way, Shubham ended up taking multidisciplinary case study. And like you said, I think कि research के बिना RM ले लिया. A lot of people do that, and in fact, I would say bulkiness वाला तो point हर किसी का है. जो भी RM लेता है, no one takes it out of interest. Everyone takes it because course छोटा है. But I think it is about time
and maybe
Divesh would remember कि हमारे यहाँ पे मैं मेरी बात कर रहा था.
Divesh would remember हमारे बैच में like RM paper में it was just 5, 7, 10 marks जो book से आया था, rest was all out of the book. So maybe वहाँ पे खाली आप अपनी concept clarity रखो जो भी subject आप ले रहे हो, and then it's all to the exams maybe because it is same for everyone there.
I would like to add though I did not take RM exactly. Yeah, go ahead Divesh.
Yeah, Bhramar, go ahead.
So I was thinking I did not take RM as an elective exactly, but I took economic laws. So economic laws में जितने भी मेरे friends ने classes थी ना, so they ended up spending like what 20 odd days just watching class, and उसके बाद अलग से खुद से self preparation की studies compile करो and all. And I just did it with one of my friends, and we just sat for 7 days and we were done with everything. So elective में I'm not very sure that how much classes adds value to it. So elective में तो is the only subject which you can be sure कि self ज़्यादा अच्छा होगा classes से. It might happen. So elective में classes तो I तो feel not at all necessary. That is my personal opinion.
Okay.
Also one thing is I think paper tough आने से डरो मत मतलब I will not say कि डर वाजबी नहीं है obviously है ही हम लोग भी डरते थे but the point is if you write logical stuff at least so far as RM is concerned if you write logical stuff then you will get marks as a matter of fact I think I mean I got 74 marks I think Ashish also got more or less around 70 marks which is I think good enough so far as the RM paper was concerned because given the fact that it was tough so don't worry about the paper being tough I would say. I think having said that let's move on to the next question. Next
one minute. I have one more.
I think cost of is next.
Hello, I'm audible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have one more doubt. I'm shy.
Yeah, you're audible. Go ahead.
Yeah. So what I do presently is I prepare daily targets. Means I have prepared for say for example FR I have prepared 15 day strategy on first day. That what I will do on each day, and at the end of the day was it achieved or not? I prepared Excel to be honest. Okay. But what sometimes happens is I am not able to complete the target, right? So should I complete that thing on next day or should I leave that thing and should I start with the fresh thing on next day as per my target?
Yeah, I think Bhramar will let you take this question.
Means got my point or
Bhramar propaganda है Bhramar का कि कुछ छोड़ के नहीं जाना चाहिए. So
Bhramar,
please answer this question. He asked कि आज के टारगेट का अगर कुछ छूट गया तो फिर वो कल करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए.
Yeah, I got that overall. But thing was, my approach was slightly different to it. So what I did was I did not used to prepare daily targets. Like you said, कि I'm gonna do this subject in 15 days. So I made sure कि मैं 15 days में subject कर रहा हूँ. So I used to pick up one subject and पूरे time वही करता था. And I tried to make it close down in 15 days. तब अगर मेरा वो I didn't used to set daily targets. I had something in my mind कि मुझे daily इतना करना है, कम से कम करना है, तब जाके तो हो जाएगा. But I used to make sure कि वो 15 days में complete हो जाए. तो अगर आज मेरा वो छूट जाता है, obviously I'll pick it up the next day. मतलब मैं ये नहीं करूँगा आज का टारगेट छूट गया तो अब गया. मतलब when will I pick it up? And obviously what I understand is in every subject, be it FR, be it SFM, be it law, there's a flow. मतलब there's a specific flow कि अगर तुम ये flow of chapters से पढ़ोगे तो it would suit you best, right? चाहे वो law हो, चाहे FR में भी हो. तो FR में if you'll see कि there are some asset related indices, right? Then there are some FI related indices. Then there are some big chapters like business combination हो गया या ऐसा कुछ different chapter हो गया, leases हो गया. So which can be picked up अलग से. So जो flow होता है, if you decide कि हाँ आज मैं India 16 पढ़ा, intangible पढ़ा, tangible पढ़ा, and then मेरा 41 या कुछ एक दो chapters ऐसे छूट गया. So I don't think it makes sense to me that I'll just leave it. वो flow को I won't break. I will try कि I fasten up my cycle, but I won't leave anything if I am not able to meet my target. Targets are made according to our judgment and they might obviously be wrong, but leaving and moving ahead in the interest of time in the first reading I think is not recommended. Second reading में you can make a call कि या बिल्कुल time नहीं है, इस पर ध्यान दिया तो फिर नहीं हो पाएगा. First reading में anyways we have to cover everything, right? वो 15 days में नहीं होता तो you will make it to 16 days, 17 days, वो तुम्हें करना ही पड़ेगा. लेकिन जो चीज तुमने first reading में छोड़ दी, that you won't pick up it all till exam. मतलब first reading में obviously जो छोड़ दिया वो कभी तुम pick up करोगे ही. So I तो personally made sure कि I cover everything in first reading, चाहे कितना भी time लगे. Obviously I have a time frame in my mind कि जल्दी complete हो जाए, but if I'm not able to meet it, I won't leave it. So yeah, that would be my answer to your question.
And I think taking this ahead from here, कि आपको planning भी इसी तरह सोचना चाहिए कि 15 days में कोई FR खत्म करना है. सबसे पहले तो डिसाइड करो सीक्वेंस ऑफ सब्जेक्ट्स क्या होगी फर्स्ट रीडिंग के 90 डेज में. देन एफआर के बाद लेट्स से यू वांट टू टेक फॉर एग्जांपल ऑडिट, ठीक है. तो आप पहले ब्रेक इट इनटू पार्ट्स. पहले 15 डेज सोचो, 15 डेज के बाद थिंक ऑफ इट इन 3-4 ब्लॉक्स कि यार चलो 3-4 डेज में मेरे को ये करना है. लाइक इस तरह से 5 डेज के 3 ब्लॉक्स एक्सेट्रा कि इतने दिन मेरे को बिजनेस कॉम्बिनेशन प्लस कंसोलिडेशन करना है एक्सेट्रा. एंड लाइक ब्रह्मर सेड 15 डेज इज व्हाट इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट इंस्टेड ऑफ द डेली टारगेट्स. बिकॉज ये तो होना ही है यार, आज मूड कम हुआ वर्सेस नेक्स्ट डे मेरी एफिशिएंसी ज्यादा है. बट 15 डेज के साइकिल में आई थिंक ये एवरेज आउट हो जाता है.
But I think it is very great on your part that you are having daily targets. तुमने इतना comprehensive schedule बनाया है. So, but in conclusion, my suggestion would be कि आज जो छूटता है, don't just leave it to be taken up at the end. कल ही उसको तुरंत उठा लो, right? Don't leave it.
Correct.
Yeah. I think we can move to the next question.
Hi everyone. So my question is about the deadlines. So my plan is कि मैं August 10th या 15th तक पूरा complete कर लूँगा एक बार, and then I will start giving mock tests weekly basis पे. ठीक है, जैसे कैट में होता है ना कि वीकली बेसिस पर मॉक टेस्ट दो और फिर जितना कम आ रहा है बट जिस टॉपिक पे आपको कम लग रहा है कि वो वीक इन दैट, आई विल स्टार्ट वर्किंग ऑन दैट इंस्टेड ऑफ cramming the entire syllabus again and again. So how suitable is that or how feasible is that plan? That's what I'm asking.
Maybe I can take.
Ashish, you can take it.
Okay. So for mock test, I just have a suggestion that repetitive mock test will help you, but since your question asking say here question asking is not limited to some particular things, that repetitiveness is there in exams, but you cannot predict the exams. Okay, so this approach is again against the theory that we are thinking ki full cover karna hai, because coverage is what we are focusing upon. What you can do is you can take the mock test once. What I did, I'll tell you that I took the mock test one. I kept my analysis ready that where I'm weak. Okay, so now I have identified say this 3 subjects I'm weak. So I'll take a mock test again, a mock test of those 3 subjects only after a reading. Okay, but I'll continue the reading of other subjects because say it's a long time period, so you'll start forgetting things, so you'll have to read those again so that those are in your minds, so it will hit you again and again and that will help you. So that is my thought.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, next question, Hitesh.
Okay, I think one thing I want to add over here, so far as the mock tests are concerned, there's just one thing I want to mention कि काफी लोग एक दिन के बाद वो 20 दिन का ट्रायल ले लेते हैं. A lot of people do
Divesh, you're breaking a lot.
ताकि पता चले 1.5 दिन में खत्म हो रहा है. I think Shubham, if you can take this, because Shubham, you and me have similar views on this. जो 20 days के ट्रायल की बात है.
Sure. Yeah, so I'll say that जो cat वाली आपकी approach है ना, it will not work here, because I used to say that it's like आपके कोई object यहाँ पे खड़ा है साइंस की टर्म में and gravity आपके against act कर रहा है, ठीक है. तो here time is the gravity. आपकी रिवीजन अभी सब्जेक्ट की 100 out of 100 है, बट टाइम के साथ में आप देखोगे वो यहाँ आ जाएगी अगर आप उसे रिवाइज नहीं करोगे. सो इवन इफ यू आर स्कोरिंग गुड इन मॉक टेस्ट डजंट मीन आपको उसको रिवाइज नहीं करना. यू हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट यू रिमेन एट द सेम लेवल. देयर माइट बी पॉसिबिलिटी आपने जो मॉक टेस्ट दिया ना उसमें लेट्स से बिजनेस कॉम्बिनेशन का वो क्वेश्चन आ गया जिसमें जो आपको ऑलरेडी आता था, डजंट मीन आपको पूरा बिजनेस कॉम्बिनेशन आता है, ठीक है. तो राइट, अगर आप मॉक टेस्ट में आपकी कहीं वीकनेस मिल जाए, डेफिनेटली मेक श्योर दैट यू आर वर्किंग ऑन दैट इन दी सब्सिक्वेंट रिविजंस, बट डजंट मीन जो आप सही कर रहे हो उसमें आपको कुछ नहीं करना. यू हैव टू वर्क हार्ड देयर. And Divesh was talking about that 20 days वाला preparation. That बहुत लोग क्या करते हैं एग्जाम से 20 days पहले बिल्कुल डेट दिन वाला मॉक टेस्ट देने लग जाएंगे. Don't do that. एक ही बार माउंट एवरेस्ट चढ़ा जाता है, 2 बार नहीं चढ़ते. आप माउंट एवरेस्ट की प्रैक्टिस के लिए पहले माउंट एवरेस्ट चढ़ने नहीं चले जाते. ठीक है, तो वो जो 20 days में 1.5 days रिवीजन होती है वो एक ही बार हो सकती है लाइफ में. एक ही बार के लिए करो. सीए फाइनल 2 बार देने का किसी को शौक नहीं है. बहुत ज्यादा सिलेबस है.
Because
I completely
simple
agree
logic
with
है.
Shubham here, because so what happened with me was like multiple postponements. So I was supposed to give my exams on May 20, but I ended up giving my exams in Jan 21. So सबका ये ओपिनियन था, भाई तुम्हारे पास तो इतना टाइम है, तुम तो इतने एक्सपर्ट हो गए होगे, सब कुछ आता होगा तुम्हें. But the fact was कि अगर हम 1 महीना नहीं पढ़ते थे, 15 days नहीं पढ़ते थे ना, it was vanish everything. सब कुछ vanish हो जाता था. We would have to go over all it again. And at the end, I was of the view कि यार मैं May 20 में ज़्यादा prepared था as compared to Jan 21. So वो CA कोर्स में ऐसे होता है. It is so vast कि you can't expect कि हाँ मैंने एक बार मास्टर कर लिया तो बस हो गया, मतलब now I am set for years. You have to go through it again and again. And it's just
Jan 21 में रैंक बनाई उधर की आती May 20 में. जैसा
वो अलग बात है. So just to clarify a question, so you are saying कि अगस्त तक तुम्हारा फर्स्ट रिवीजन कंप्लीट हो जाएगा, कौन सा रिवीजन कंप्लीट हो जाएगा?
फर्स्ट रिवीजन कंप्लीट हो जाएगा.
तो I don't think मतलब यार then तो I think what everybody said it makes sense. मतलब first one revision is not enough यार. मतलब हाँ, you have to revise everything.
One revision मतलब अगस्त में जो मैं मॉक टेस्ट दूंगा, I am aiming for an exemption there.
नहीं तो you to
60 तक आ जाएगा, तो फिर उसके बाद से I will improve on that. That's what I
definitely you'll identify your weak areas and you will extra work on that, but you will simultaneously have to work on all the subjects as well.
Yeah.
And just scoring an exemption is मतलब ये मत सोचो कि मॉक टेस्ट में कितने मार्क्स आएंगे, तो मतलब मॉक टेस्ट में exemption से क्या करना, मतलब मॉक टेस्ट में तो बस ट्राई ये करो कि तुम्हारे सारे क्वेश्चंस का नॉलेज होना चाहिए. मतलब अगर मॉक टेस्ट में एक क्वेश्चन आगे which you don't know, you should become anxious यार ये को क्यों नहीं आता था, irrespective of marks which you are getting, right?
Marks
nah, so marks is important as well, लेकिन more important is how prepared you are, how well prepared you are.
Thank you everyone. Thank you for all.
बट वो बर्नआउट वाला पॉइंट याद रखना, एग्जाम के पहले 20 दिन में एक और बार माउंट एवरेस्ट चढ़ने का ट्राई मत करना, वरना इतना बर्नआउट होगा यू वोंट बी एबल टू डू इट अगेन ड्यूरिंग द एग्जाम्स. इसीलिए आशीष का पॉइंट वो रेलेवेंट है कि 2.5 रिवीजन, तो वो लास्ट 20 डेज में हाफ रिवीजन करो इंस्टेड ऑफ 1 full reading.
See, I don't know if topic of mock test has been discussed here in detail or not. Is it discussed?
Not much, Bhramar. If you want to cover,
I'll just
go ahead. Yeah.
Touch on it quickly. So I believe there are 2 types of students, right? One who have difficulty in writing a paper. मतलब they know everything but they can't perform in exams. It's not because of something, therefore maybe it is because of lack of practice or something, but it is that is कुछ लोगों को मॉक टेस्ट लिखने की जरूरत पड़ती है, वो भी मल्टीपल मॉक टेस्ट. एंड कुछ लोग को ऐसा होता है कि बस एक मॉक टेस्ट लेना इज इनफ. सो पहला मॉक टेस्ट लेके यू हैव टू डिसाइड that do you face difficulty in writing a paper in those 3 hours, or are you someone who has not studied enough, उसके कारण तुम मॉक टेस्ट में नहीं परफॉर्म कर पा रहे, right? You have to write one mock test and identify यार हाँ मेरे को पता था लेकिन मैं लिख नहीं पाया, or I am not able to express what I thought, मुझे पता था, मुझे याद था लेकिन नहीं पता, वो 3 घंटे में नहीं कर पाया. Then you are the one who need to write multiple mock tests. Not that 1.5 days वाला pattern, any कभी भी mock test कर लो, लेकिन you need to have writing practice. That is what mock tests are for. अगर तुम्हें लगता है कि फर्स्ट टाइम लिखने के बाद कि तुम नहीं लिख पा रहे हो, लिखने में दिक्कत हो रही है, देन यू नीड टू टेक मल्टीपल मॉक टेस्ट. लेकिन अगर तुम फर्स्ट टाइम मॉक टेस्ट लिखे एंड यू आर एबल टू राइट इट सफिशिएंटली, बस जो तुम्हें नहीं आता था वो नहीं लिख पाए एंड बाकी सब जो आता था वो अच्छे से लिख पाए, तो आई थिंक देन यू नीड टू वर्क ऑन द कोर्स एंड नॉट ऑन राइटिंग, राइट? सो आई थिंक दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू आइडेंटिफाई. तो इट इज दो सब लोग बोलते हैं मॉक टेस्ट आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, मॉक टेस्ट आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, लेकिन मॉक टेस्ट आर मोर इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर दोस स्टूडेंट्स हु आर नॉट एबल टू राइट. राइटिंग में दिक्कत हो रही है. या दिस इज व्हाट आई फील.
And as a matter of fact,
is compulsory because you identify कि where do you fall. मतलब तुम ढंग से लिख पा रहे हो कि तुम्हें कोर्स और go through करना है, right? So always write one mock test paper, लेकिन multiple करना है कि ये दूसरों के व्यू पे मत जाओ. You are unique and you decide for yourself कि मुझे और लिखना है कि नहीं. I solved mock test of only 4 papers. That's it. मतलब थियरी का तो मेरे को मन नहीं करता था कि हाँ ठीक है, मैं I used to see question and I used to say out loud in my mind. अब मैं लिखूंगा, मैं बोल रहा हूँ, मतलब मुझे ये पता था कि मेरी स्पीड ठीक है, तो आई वाज लाइक कि हाँ मैं लॉ का पेपर देख रहा हूँ तो मैं क्वेश्चन देख रहा हूँ, फिर मैं खुद से जोर से बोल रहा हूँ. तो दैट इज माय मॉक टेस्ट बिकॉज आई नो माय स्ट्रेंथ, आई नो माय वीकनेस, राइट? सो इट इज वेरी सब्जेक्टिव एंड इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द पर्सन. सो ये बस जो मार्केट में रहता है मॉक टेस्ट दो जीत जाओगे, डोंट बिलीव दैट, राइट? जस्ट एनालाइज योरसेल्फ.
And I think picking up from what Bhramar said, you are unique. It is very subjective, and दूसरों को मत देखो. I think this applies to not just mock test. It applies to each and everything. चाहे वो study का source हो गया, चाहे number of readings हो गई, चाहे leaves हो गई. You are unique, and your study का way is unique. Number of hours is unique. दूसरों को मत देखो, वरना देखा देखी में like it will create a lot of stress and unnecessary stress. I am saying because वो काफी subjective. Like I actually said on this call, Bhramar would say कि यार 100% course करो, versus I would say यार 100% करने की जरूरत नहीं है. And I think obviously he's got already rank 1 versus I've got 13. लेकिन every person has a subjective point of view. सबकी कैपेसिटी भी अलग अलग है, शायद मैं 100% नहीं कर पाता, सिंपल एज दैट. सो एवरीवन वुड हैव अ डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव. मॉक टेस्ट के केस में भी यही है. मी आई आल्सो रोट ओनली 4 पेपर्स एंड मेरे केस में तो द हाईएस्ट टाइम आई रोट वाज 2 hours एंड द लोएस्ट टाइम आई रोट वाज 45 minutes. मैं तो एक पेपर 3 घंटे का भी नहीं लिखा. दैट्स द पॉइंट. बट मेरे को वो जजमेंट आ गया था यार 2 घंटे में अगर मैं 60 मार्क्स लिख रहा हूँ और 65 मार्क्स लिख रहा हूँ, मोर और लेस आई फील 3 hours में आई बी एबल टू कंप्लीट द पेपर. सो दैट इज व्हाट इज मोर इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू टू गेट कॉन्फिडेंस कि मेरा पेपर खत्म हो जाएगा, एंड देन यू शुड वर्क ऑन द कंटेंट इंस्टेड.
Thank you for the 20 part thing. Okay.
Yeah, but again highlighting मतलब it does not mean mock test is not helpful. मतलब अगर तुम first writing में identify कर रहे हो कि दिक्कत जा रही है तुम्हें, तो you should definitely write multiple talks. मतलब I've known people who have not been able to clear exams just because they are not able to perform during the exams. So for them mock test is a blessing, right?
Thank you everyone.
Hitesh, you can go next.
Okay, so good evening everyone. Firstly, thank you for the wonderful session. I think all the recurring doubts which are there in the students' mind were wonderfully covered. Having said that, my question specifically relates to the phase post the exams and more specifically about placements, etc. So is it fine if I ask the question in this session?
पूछ लो, अगर भाई गए हो तो.
हाँ मतलब पूछ लो, no worries.
1 घंटा वेट कर रहा है.
बट एक जनरल सजेशन है यार, पोस्ट एग्जाम्स का है ना, अभी से मत सोचा करो.
हम एक और सेशन कर लेंगे इसका.
वो भूल जाओ. I installed LinkedIn actually.
Nah, you can ask the question right now, but this is general advice. ये फालतू का स्ट्रेस क्रिएट करता है, इसलिए don't think about post results या placements right now, exams के पहले. ये तो general advice है. But yeah, you can go ahead and ask the question right now.
Okay, thank you so much. So basically, a little brief about myself. I am a rank holder in foundation. I passed with good marks in inter, but missed the rank. And I was the COVID batch, so I gave my inter in November 19. And post that, COVID happened, and the hiring was freezed in the big fours. I registered myself in a good mid-sized firm, and I subsequently did get a call from one of the big fours to join the stat audit department, but unfortunately, I could not get a transfer. So basically, my CV has kind of a lackluster point in the articleship aspect of it. It's a decent articleship, but obviously not compared to big four. So my question is, post my exams in those 3-4 brief months, what is something that I can do to make my CV perhaps a more attractive one? I do have some spikes in my CV, as management consultants generally refer to it. I have some inter-school, inter-college, and a couple of national level events which I've won. But honestly, it is nothing so extravagant that someone with a great industrial training or say a great articleship cannot outshine. And the issue is with the shortlisting aspect of it, considering Jain and BCG get about 100-200 applications per cycle, and the shortlisting is about 10-20%. So is there anything I can do in those 3-4 months?
Bhramar bhai.
Not very sure I am the right person for it.
Yeah, you are the non-big four.
You are the most ideal amongst all of us.
You got into BCG.
You went into.
No good speaking, Shubham.
अरे तो मेरा तो वो था ना.
तो I was also saying कि I believe कि छोटे courses are not very helpful, and छोटे courses की reality the interviewers know. मतलब वो बंदा कितना पढ़ा है. तो I attended IIM वाला जो MTP का course होता है, which institute conducts for all the rank holders, but it has no value. तो उसको तो I didn't even include it in my CV. Right. And even I took a course of financial modeling for like 10 days, but लेकिन उसको एक ही दिन दिखा था. So rather than focusing too much on what do I do in those 2-3 months, I think once you qualify, your focus should be on how do I make my CV more attractive and how do I make my work come out, right? तुमने articleship में I'm sure you would have done a lot of things, right? But कई लोग होते हैं जो general things लिख देते हैं. So my advice now has shifted from doing specific trainings to how to get shortlisted in MBBs, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. Like कई लोग work में मतलब normal चीजें लिख देते हैं. I did internal control testing of this, or yeah, I did perform this. मतलब they just write functions. Rather, I would say make your CV call out of what impact did you bring upon, what findings did you get, right? Did this of 200 crore plus company and found a deviation of this or something, right? मतलब ऐसा frame करना अपने work experience के which calls out that you did something great, right? And talking about 2-3 months की internships that I know of, is to I think something basics like मतलब not just MBB specific, like you can do financial modeling. So IB के interviews में बैठोगे या किसी के भी interviews में बैठोगे, financial modeling helps, right? And I've heard some of my friends in some of the interviews being asked about sensitivity analysis or Solver 2, for example, right? उसके अलावा I don't know as such of any specific internships.
Paper presentation कर सकते हैं.
He's saying after exams.
Paper presentation ना.
Exactly. Presentation you can do. Till results you can do. So in fact, yeah, one of the things CV पे that I think MBB is also considered is extracurriculars, and institute gives you a chance of paper presentation, this elocution competition वगैरह, तो वो करो, because internship या articleship is I'm not sure how you'll be doing unless you're done with articleship already. That's a whole different issue. But I think like what Bhramar said, CV पे काम करो, and obviously you can participate in such extracurriculars and invest time there. That will yield more benefits in my view.
First focus should be clear CA finals, dude.
Thank you. Now, once you've made your strategy, beyond that, it's about you implementing it, and more than anything else, you trusting yourself, trusting the process rather than rethinking, revisiting your strategy. यार ये मैंने सही बनाया था, गलत बनाया था, ये बंदा तो बुरा है, ये strategy ज़्यादा better है. ये सब छोड़ दो. Once you decide a strategy, trust yourself what you've decided, and just follow the process, and you'll definitely see the outcome, I'd say. I think it's time for us to close. Thanks to you all once again for joining. Subscribe to our channel. And
Thank
thanks
you,
to all the
guys.
panelists as well, Ashish, Bhramar, and Shubham, to you all. And guys, one last
Yes,
request:
thanks,
do share your results with us, and we'll be more than happy seeing you through and rather welcoming you to the fraternity. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you so much all for joining. All the very best for your preparations and exams.
Bye bye.
Bye.